And if you've ever met Bill, and we know many of you have, you probably have a story to tell, maybe a funny story. Now, Bill is a trusted journalist, but he also has that larger-than-life personality. Well, a couple of weeks ago, a few of us long-timers, the boys here at Channel 3, sat down with Bill for a lunch. We shared our favorite Bill stories as co-workers and as friends.
What are you getting?
I'm going to get a barbecue pork plate with fries and slaw. And that comes with what, Texas toast or something?
Yes, sir.
I'll take the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, sounds good.
Hey, why don't I do that too?
All right.
It's easy.
We're not hard.
Take it easy.
Let me tell you a little story. When I was growing up, I grew up in Huntsville, Alabama, and we could only get television from Birmingham and from Nashville. And there was a guy on television in Birmingham that I just loved. He was a newscaster. And so later on, we moved to Birmingham, and my parents took me to the zoo one day. And you got to remember, this was all a first generation business. And we go into the zoo, and all of the TV people are there, and I'm thinking, man, this is really cool, you know. So I walk up to them, and they went like, "Get away, kid," you know. And it literally broke my heart, you know. And when I got into this business, I thought, well, that's something I would never ever do. And it turned out that it's the best thing to stop and talk to people, because you get to know all these really neat people, and actually you become friends with them. They watch you and all that stuff. I love going to the mall and getting people to come up and talk.
The one thing that I'll never forget as long as I live is the blizzard, obviously. Over here.
Yeah.
And we were doing a special production at 11 o'clock the night the blizzard was hitting. And you came up to me and you said, "We're going to do it outside." And I said, "You're going to do what outside?" I said, "We're going to do the newscast outside. We're putting a portable set out there, and we're going to do it outside." And I said, "Well, that's great." I said, "You can do it outside, but I'm going to be in here." And I said, "I'm going to probably be up all night with this thing, and I don't want to catch pneumonia." So she said, "But you don't understand. I need big snowflakes." And I said, looked at you and said, "They don't pay me to make big snowflakes."
But we got them.
And we got them. The timing was perfect. I couldn't believe it, because it was sort of rain, snow, and then all of a sudden, you and Heidi Robinson and John Fricke are sitting outside, and it's sort of rain, snow, and then it changes to snow, and then it changes to big snowflakes. It's just like I said, who does Markham know?
Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery.
Oh, yeah.
But there are a lot of people who do their Bill Markham imitations. That's got to make you feel good that you have a style that people, you know.
Yeah, well, I'd like to see them. Where are we going to start here?
Let me start.
Okay.
This is the way it was taught to me when I first got here. You have to use your hands, and you have to start every sentence with "hey," so that you get everyone's attention, because you've got something to say. So it all begins with a "hey," and once you realize you have everyone's attention, then you proceed with your story, and it's usually about some crazy person that you know, or some crazy experience that you've had, or something like that.
Well, that's because you worked in Nashville for so long, and you got to meet all these
And because I've been in the business so long. You know, when you're in the TV business and famous people come to town, they come to the TV stations. And
That's how you met Richard Simmons. That's how Richard Simmons met Bill. The thing I remember is that Richard was in town for some health promotion, and we had him booked on the 5:30, and he was taking a little newsroom tour. And, you know, it was like, hey, there's our news director, and, you know, hey, there's our sports guy, and so forth and so on. Well, Markham walks in unknowing that Richard was in the newsroom. You were just coming in, and you had no idea what was going on. And Bill was all made up in a suit and tie, you know, every hair in place, you know, looking Mr. Anchorman. And Richard just freezes and looks at Bill up and down and says, "Be still my heart." And he runs over and hugs Bill, this big embrace, and starts climbing on him. And the look on Bill's face, you know, he's like, you know, who is this? Why is he climbing on me?
well, I knew who he was.
But you didn't know.
I didn't know he was going to climb on me.
I really enjoyed watching you and Cindy when you would do the Share Your Christmas things. And I mean, for many years, you and Cindy got there at 5 in the morning and stayed until 6:30 at night. It was freezing, sleeting, ice cold. Everybody had their heavy clothes on.
Oh, yeah.
But there was something really magic about that. I mean, just that interaction with people.
Yeah, it was fun, and just getting to meet all those people. A couple times we had some celebrities, like Willard Scott came down one year from NBC and participated, and it you learn a lot about people when they're in the Christmas spirit.
One of my favorite bloopers of all time is about 15 years ago. A female reporter was in the newsroom doing a live shot, and she was live at 5:30, and the camera's right on her. And then over her shoulder, you see Bill Markham walking into the newsroom, not knowing that young lady was live, and from the waist up, sharp as he could be, the shirt, the tie, everything, from the waist down, these beautiful shorts.
And flip-flops.
Flip-flops. I remember you told me the story about you were interviewing Paul McCartney.
Wait a minute, you met Paul McCartney?
Yeah.
I haven't heard this one.
That's a great.
You've told me about Andy Griffith, but not Paul McCartney.
Speak Up America was with Marjo Gortner and Jane Kennedy, and they were trying to get me to move out to the West Coast to do stories. And I was working at Channel 4 in Nashville, and I said, I really don't, I'd like to make sure this show is going to go on before I do this. So, and it's a good thing I didn't, because it only lasted 13 weeks. But they sent me down to New Orleans. They had an anti-Ku Klux Klan rally in the Superdome. And this show was the first reality show. I mean, we would go into a bar and get people arguing over whether you should smoke in bars or restaurants and things like that. And it was interesting, but it was way ahead of its time. So we go in, and when I registered, they said we're up on the second floor. And the lady said, Mr. Markham, when you get your stuff put up, go down to room 202 or whatever it was, and just knock on the door. Somebody wants to meet you. And I thought, whoa, this is really New Orleans, And so anyway, we put our stuff up and we started out, and we passed by that room. And I said, let's just knock on the door and see what the deal is. And knocked on the door, and it was Paul and Linda McCartney. And they were big fans of Real People, and he happened to be down in the lobby when the reservations were made, and he just wanted to meet the people who worked for the Real People show.
But just for the record, Bill Markham didn't want to meet Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney wanted to meet Bill Markham.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you so much.
It has been a pleasure working with you.
Fun watching.
Oh, listen, you guys are great. I love all
I'm
three
glad
of
you're going to
you.
be in town.
Yeah.
Oh, I am too.
I'm glad you're not going to Florida forever.
Nope. We're going to be here, and this is going to be home from now on.
I mean, how many people can you say you've worked with for 20-something years and never had an argument across word? I mean, yeah,
Well,
it's
that's
been
the
a
truth.
pleasure.
I hadn't thought about that.
That's true.
Man,
Very
It is
lucky.
true. It is true.